My father was kind of a jovial guy, and he was not that person when we were making that trip to D.C. And when we got to D.C. and having to live with his sister, and she had a large family. My aunt had, I think it was a total of 8 or 9 children, and then of course 3 additional to my 2 sisters and myself. The living conditions were very, very difficult. Well, some of the downside of the things that we had to encounter, Washington, D.C. had rats as big as cats. And the apartment that she lived in was on 7th Street, Northwest, between M and N. I remember it very vividly. Across the street was a theater called the Gym Theater. We used to go over there for 25 cents on Saturday and spend the whole day in the theater from Saturday morning till Saturday evening. But the thing that bothered my father was the fact that the rats rattled pots and pans all night in the kitchen. And he just got to the point where he said, I cannot take it anymore. After 1 year, or maybe it wasn't even a year, we'd just gotten out of school in D.C. We all got back in the car, packed everything up, and came back to Columbia. And coming back to Columbia, we had nowhere to go. Of course, that's when we then moved in with Lillian, my first cousin, and stayed there until Dad was able to find a job working for Mr. McGramati at the liquor store. He was totally beaten down about that at that time. He was a worn out man by then. Victor was an extreme high. This loss was the having to come back and leave D.C. And come back to Columbia was extreme low. Because no one would hire him. No one wanted to be associated with him, knowing what the threats from the opposition at that time.